Collective. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. What the what? We have the Mother and Thanatos, the dead end, the empty room, the box, the stone, the vow, Kairos, and Agape. Y'all, I was not anticipating this. Sorry, I'm trying to not fall behind, so I've just been like reading all morning. The Mother and Thanatos, I just feel like is this idea of like clinging to an identity that is just like you can't let it go. You're stuck there. It like you can't get anywhere with it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel kind of defeated right now, you guys, honestly. And I hate that. There's just a sense of feeling stuck, of feeling defeated, of feeling like, how do I keep finding myself further behind than I was before? You know, I get this feeling of thinking I'm going to take a big step forward, and then that's not even remotely true. You know what I mean? And feeling really frustrated, feeling like you need to just just everybody leave me alone right now. Like I need to, I don't know. I just feel like this, like I need to come back to myself. I don't know. I feel like you just got whipped in a direction that hurt. And you just, I don't know. I just feel like this, like I just need to come back to myself. Like I can't keep being tossed or like tumbled, or what are those like tumbling machines? I feel, or like a dryer even, you know, like you've just been like tumbled around, and it's like I can't take form when I just keep getting thrown in every direction. Like I need to take form. Right? That's a real feel. But I think that, you know, again, this like coming back to yourself, like not feeling thrown in different directions, because it feels out of your control, like hence the defeatedness, right? Because it's just like I don't have any control over this. But I think that but what I want to say is like you do have control over it, because you have control over yourself, and you have control over how you react, and you have control over what you do and the actions that you take, right? And sometimes really the best thing we can do is just remove ourselves from a situation, you know, and just be like, okay, this is like putting myself in a dryer and turning it on high. You know what I mean? And needing to like come out of that tumultuousness, release these ideas of identity that you're like holding on to, you know, as though they are your savior. And it's like, that's not true. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like you really need to release these ideas of identity that in your mind, like this is why I'll be able to do it, or this is what, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, let it go. Come back to yourself, and what it is that you were trying to create through some form of identity will be natural, and it will fit, and it will feel right, and you won't feel like you're constantly being tossed around in a dryer, you know? I'm not even doing any laundry today. I probably should though. Okay. Collective. Gracious sakes, y'all. I don't know. I was feeling positive energy this morning. Like, okay. The King of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, Temperance, the Queen of Wands, and the Four of Pentacles. Well, I mean, again, this manipulation, I feel like this identity, I don't know how this plays out, because I just, like, I don't know. I kind of want to just say, like, your title doesn't matter if your character sucks, right? And so if there's somebody, and it could be that you're dealing with somebody, and it's like, well, that might be your title, but it ain't your character. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like trying to cling to an idea of a title in the hopes that it would honor your character. And it's like, that's just not how it works. And also not an easy lesson to learn, right? Um, but I feel like there's an opportunity for, a new beginning. Again, this idea of like pulling away and coming back to yourself so that you can find balance, so that you can go in the direction that actually does honor your character. And I don't know, maybe you'll get an even better title. I don't know. Like if it's like a job or something and you're like, well, I'm the manager and da 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 da. And it's like, well, but you're a shitty manager. So congratulations on your title. You know what I mean? And it's like, instead of trying to like lord that title over people, you act like a solid leader or a solid manager. And then you find that you like, next thing you know, you're doing all these other things, right? But I feel like there was a little bit of an ego check with this of like, and like a desire to like cling to something as a form of identity to like gain a sense of power or control. And I think that once you release that, however it plays out for you, that you're going to like come into like a balanced state that puts you in a position that enables you to like naturally embody those skills rather than trying to forcefully embody a title. I don't know, y'all. I'm just sitting in my corner reading. Staying in my lane, right? Okay, collective. Hold on. Sorry. Ouch. Knight of Pentacles, yeah, staying in my lane. Queen of Wands again, and Eight of Wands. Well, because I do kind of get this feeling that it's like, if you focus on what it is that like, I'm going to focus on what I'm doing, right? I'm going to focus on what will, make me better at whatever it is that I'm doing. I'm going to, like, I don't know. I just feel like that like day-to-day life where you're like, you know what? I'm showing up to my life today because I decided to show up to my life. You know what I mean? And I decided to show up to my life as me, not as some like titled version of me that like demands some form of respect. You know what I mean? Because you like, the moment you demand respect is the moment that everybody loses it for you, right? So stay in your lane, focus on what you're doing, what you're developing, what you're growing, what you're, you know what I mean? And let the rest of the people fumble through their chaos, and stay focused, because that's how you're going to really embody the power that you have, right? I think that's how you're really going to be able to go for what it is that you want. I don't know. I just kind of get this feeling that there's something, and I feel like this has been in some of the reads lately, of just like that, like something is on the horizon and it is a very big change. And it's like, whatever this change is, it's something that you're like, yeah, I have been focused. I have been staying in my lane. I have been doing the things. I released any idea of like identity or control, or, you know what I mean? Like demanding that, like, don't you know who I am? Like, nobody gives a fuck who you are any more than like nobody gives a fuck who I am. You know what I mean? Like, so I stay in my lane and I do what I know will be best for me, and the people in my life in the long term, right? A promise that you've made to yourself. That like, I know why I started doing this. I'm gonna keep on doing it. I'm gonna stay in my lane and keep doing what I'm doing. Right? Okay. Collective. I feel relieved a little bit that took a turn. The Death and the Ten of Wands, right? Because I can't carry the responsibility and the burden of everybody else's. Again, it's just the idea of like, if you want to demand that you have sole ownership of something or sole identity through something, then you carry the brunt of that responsibility, because you won't let anybody else have you won't allow for anybody else to help you carry that weight. You know what I mean? And I feel like you are releasing an identity that you've really held on to with like death's grip, so that you can start to stay in your lane, so that you can start to focus on what it is that you are trying to accomplish. And then you will align with people who will be in that same lane. But you got to stay in your lane. Got some Scorpios in here with me. The comic. Well, again, because it's like, if you're out there, you know, in the streets telling everybody that you have the right to do this and you have the right to do that, and you know what I mean? And people are looking at you like, says who? Why? You know? Whereas if you're just out there, like, doing what it is that you do and minding your business and staying in your lane and living your life, people will be drawn to that rather than repelled by it, you know, because it's a completely different energetic approach. And your right to whatever may not be any different either way, but your access to it will drastically change. And I feel like that is just like a heavyweight lesson that's been going down. And something that you are finding your way through, and you know, take a deep breath. It's okay. You know what I mean? Like we learn, we live, we learn, we live and we learn, you know? And it's just kind of like, I feel like that's okay. It's okay to live and learn. And once you learn and you start approaching things in a way that stops demanding things of other people, I think you find that like what you want comes so much more naturally and so much more easily, because you're in there. You're like, you know what I mean? I just think of like, I don't know why a manager, you know, but it's like, you have managers who will like, they'll like micromanage, and they'll be like, you need to do this and you need to do that. I remember in Sedona, we had this like machine, and if you would let it wasn't even a machine, it was just like a spout almost, but like one of those really big ones. And if you poured a beverage, then it would drip every single time. And I went to lunch and I came back and I was reprimanded for not cleaning everything up because of one drop. And I was like, this bitch has got to be tripping. Like, because if you served one drink while I was gone, that was not even me. That was clean before I left. You know what I mean? But then you have the, you know, the ones who come in and they're like, they're doing everything too. So when they ask you to do something, you're like, well, yeah, of course I will. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like, but if you're not engaged in it and you're just out here demanding things, then like people are not going to take you seriously. And sometimes we have to learn that lesson the hard way. But like, thank God for that lesson being learned, right? Because nobody enjoys that experience. Nobody wants to fuck with it. No, you know what I mean? It's just like a big fat no thank you. You know? And you can't hate on that. So anyways, collective, I hope this resonates with y'all. Thank you so much for spending some time with me, and please give me a like, share, and subscribe if this video did resonate. I will see y'all again soon. Bye.